What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? So, yesterday I tweeted out, give me some overreactions to the first 2 weeks of the NBA season, like the Knicks making the playoffs, or Colin Sexton's maybe a future MVP, or the Nuggets aren't making the playoffs, stuff like that, and I'll react to a bunch for a video. So that is what we are going to be doing today. I'm going to be reacting to your replies. There was over 300 replies, as you can see, but I think this will be fun, kind of seeing some overreactions on what people are saying just from the first 2 weeks. Like, some of the stuff will probably happen this year, like, who knows, the Raptors might miss out on the playoffs. That could be some replies in here. That could happen. I wouldn't bet on it, but it could, I guess, especially with the play-in tournament. But then there's some like, all right, Julius Randle's going to be All-NBA second team this year. Probably not happening. So, yeah, we will be reacting to a bunch today. If you guys enjoy these style of videos, please drop a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And I guess without further ado, we can just start reacting to these. First one is from Jeremy Broyles, and he says Anthony Edwards is a bust. Overreaction, hoping the best for him. So yeah, this is an overreaction. Calling somebody a bust, honestly, in their first 2 seasons is an overreaction. It takes some time, especially for guards, mainly for point guards, but even like a two-way guard like he is, well, I wouldn't say two-way, but you know what I mean, to be a bust or just to develop is what I meant to say. So he is in a pretty bad situation to start off the bat. D'Lo has been pretty inefficient and not a good player to start off this the season, even though I've been on the wave that D'Lo was not as good as a player as everybody else thinks. He's a good three-point shooter. He's a good passer. But overall, he's not the most efficient guy in the world. His free throws this year have been horrendous. And he can't play defense still, or he's still not good on the defensive end. So he hasn't been able to gel with D'Lo, and I could just only imagine what LaMelo Ball next to D'Lo would have looked like. Boy, Towns has been hurt. The Timberwolves are going to be bad. But I think Edwards has been fine. I actually did pull up his stats here. Honestly, this efficiency is not that bad for somebody playing their first 6 games on a bad team with a bad head coach. So I think Edwards has done just fine, and I think his defense hasn't been that bad. And he looks just honestly comfortable out there, which is huge to be right away. It's 6 games. Yeah, that one, overreaction. Philly Sports says, the Sixers are the most dangerous team in the East. Now, last year, in the 2020 season, they were my Eastern Conference pick. Them versus the Clippers. That didn't pan out. The Al Horford fit didn't really work. Tobias Harris was kind of underperforming. Brett Brown might have been on the way out. They didn't really have shooting, but adding Seth Curry, adding Danny Green, and adding Tyrese Maxey, they've been good this year. I wouldn't still say they're the most dangerous team in the East. I would honestly still put them 3rd behind the Nets and the Celtics, but I think, like, when healthy, or, like, I'm still really scared of KD and Kyrie. I know they're 3 and 4 to start the year, but I think the Sixers are up there, and I think the Sixers could come out of the East. I wouldn't say they're the most dangerous team, but they're one of the they're one of the 3 teams I think could make it out, but not the most dangerous. Chase says Christian Wood will be an All-NBA player at some point in his career. Now, he's 25. Honestly, I don't think this will happen if I had to bet money, because he is a forward. Now, there's a lot of good forwards that are better than him, that are younger than him, that are going to take up some spots. Well, now Luka's a guard, but you have like guys like Jason Tatum that will be there for a while, Kawhi Leonard, but he's a little bit older. And I'm just trying to think of maybe some forwards that are good, but like Jaylen Brown also, I would think would end up making it most of his career as a better player than Christian Wood. And then you got guys like Kawhi, like I mentioned, Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's somebody similar in age to Christian Wood, who will always get one of those forward spots. You have Jimmy Butler for now, and LeBron and KD, all those veterans. I don't know if he'll ever get that. I wouldn't bet money on it. Picafavo says Jaylen Brown is significantly better than for the Celtics, excuse me, than James Harden. They should even trade them 2 straight up. Honestly, I agree. If there was a way you can get this trade done with Kemba Walker, I would do it. But I think, like, Jaylen Brown, he's been such a good locker room guy for you. He's young. He's under contract. Yes, Harden is a lot better than James Harden's a lot better than Jaylen Brown. But still, I think you're just kind of messing some things up. Harden could be a free agent in 2022, and maybe he just doesn't gel with Kemba Walker or with Jason Tatum. So I agree that they shouldn't even trade Jaylen Brown for James Harden. But, yeah, okay. I agree. Trust the Process says Toby may not be totally overpaid. Nope, he's still overpaid. He's been good this year. He has. And he's honestly going to probably average, I think, similar stats this year than he did last year and have a similar impact. He's just kind of having a better stretch to start the year. So, overreaction. Amen Khan says Sexland will make the All-Star game. Okay, Darius Garland, I would bet a lot of money will not be an All-Star. Colin Sexton? He could. He definitely could. Tom says Steph is the best point guard ever. It was funny because in one of my Thunder franchise videos, I was saying how Steph just wasn't good to start the career. Boom, drops career high 62 points the other night. But no, I would not say he's the best point guard ever. I mean, pure point guards, you would probably have Magic Johnson in front of him, right? Obviously. And then you get into the debate. Is he number 2? You got the other guys like you have Chris Paul, you got Steve Nash, you got John Stockton, you got Oscar Robertson, and then like you'll have Steph in there as well. And Steph, I don't think he's the best point guard ever right now, but 2, fine with me. Sean Hover says the Bucks will miss the playoffs. Yep, that's a huge overreaction. All right, final Sixer one. I apologize, but Joel Embiid 2021 MVP says Embiid will finish top 3 in MVP voting. Maybe. He was my MVP pick last year. Maybe I was just a year off. Simmons wins Defensive Player of the Year, and the Sixers make the conference finals. Could I see 2 out of the 3 happening? I think Simmons could win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think Joel Embiid will finish top 3 in voting, and the Sixers could definitely make the conference finals. Promise. Last Sixers one. Levitating Apple says Suns will be a top 5 seed in the West. So, like, I know the Nuggets haven't been good to start the year, but I would still think the Nuggets will end up with a better record than the Suns. I don't know. Like, it's definitely, I think I would take the Lakers, the Clippers. I've been a little bit, I was overreacting on the Mavericks, and I kind of overrated them in my preseason predictions. So you'd have both LA teams, Denver. I don't know about Houston, man. I thought Houston would have been up there. So could they finish as the 5th seed? Yeah. I had them not making the playoffs because I had the Warriors at the 8th seed and the Suns as the 9th seed because I thought Portland was going to be really good. Portland, okay, you know what? Not an overreaction whatsoever, so I could see that levitating. Orlando Magic winning an NBA championship or winning the NBA championship. They've been good this year, and they're proving everybody that they're still solid even without Jonathan Isaac, and they could definitely be a playoff team and probably be in the play-in tournament. But NBA championship, can't agree on that. Jaylen Brown makes an all-star team plus all first-team NBA. I think you want to swap those. Actually, no, never mind. But, yeah, I think he'll be an all-star this year. He was a borderline all-star last year. I don't think he'll be on OMB first team. I don't think he'll be on OMB second team. Third team, it depends. Is he going to be listed as a guard or a forward? If he's a guard, no way he's on the first or second team. Third team, like, forward, I think that's where he could be. I still think Tatum ends up with a better season than Brown. Sports Solid says Julius Randle is an MVP candidate. Right now, sure, the Knicks are 4-3. He's been averaging almost a triple-double every game. But, yeah, you will not be an MVP candidate this year, and I don't even think he'll get a single vote. Shea will get fed up of losing and request a trade. Beasley will average 20 points per game. Okay, your first one is a huge overreaction. One, he's under contract for, what, 2 more years under team control. Then he's a restricted free agent. Then they'll probably max him. So I think he's fine, and he knew it was a rebuilding year. Beasley will average 20 points per game in his career. I don't really see him topping off at 20. I could see him being around 15. 20 might be too high. Or actually, you mean this year, not in his career. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Sam Brooks, Wizards end up with the worst record in the league. Suns with the best record in the league. Okay, 2 overreactions. Garland or Sexton will win most improved as they carry the Cavs to the playoffs. Sexton, definitely an early most improved guy. You got like Domantas Sabonis, you got Colin Sexton, you probably have Julius Randle in there as well. Like those 3 guys are definitely in that talk. So I think that's fine. I don't think Garland's going to win most improved, especially as a sophomore. So I would throw that out. I don't think the Cavs make the playoffs. Could they end up as a 10 seed to be in the play-in and then make the playoffs? Sure, but do I think they're going to actually make it? I just don't see it. Wizards end up, I don't think they end up with the worst record in the league when you got the Thunder, when you have the Pistons, and I don't think the Knicks are going to be this good, and I think like the Cavs will probably end up with a worse record than the Wizards. Suns will have the best record. I disagree with that. So the only thing I agree with here, the rest are overreactions, but I can get behind Sexton winning most improved. Sorry, but I don't know what your name is there, but Per Saki 39 says Raptors will have a top 5 pick. I think this is just a bad week. They had some tough games to start. Their only win is against the Knicks on New Year's Eve. But I don't see them being this bad. Their team is too talented, too well coached, too well ran of an organization to end up not making the playoffs this year. I think they will. I think they will. The Knicks and Hornets will both make the playoffs this year. Hornets, definitely not. Knicks, no way. No. Both of them are not making the playoffs. Overreaction, Jurgis. Ooh, this is an interesting one from Nard. Thomas Bryant will set a new field goal percentage record, breaking Mitchell Robinson's one from last year. I mean, to start off the year, he's shooting 66%. I mean, he's been really good to start off the year, don't get me wrong, but the Wizards have been bad, so is he putting up the numbers on a bad team? I don't know. But I don't see that happening. The dude does take 3-pointers, which is going to hurt his field goal percentage. That's why Mitchell Robinson broke Wilt Chamberlain's record, because he doesn't shoot the ball. He only takes shots within 5 feet and in the restricted area. So that is an overreaction. Okay, Cade Cunningham, nice name. Luke Dort will be better than Marcus Smart. Nope. I mean, maybe he's an offensive player down the line if he continues to being a good shooter. Because he's actually been unreal as a shooter this year, but his defense, I don't know, Smart is so good, so I don't see that happening. The Magic will be a top 5 team in the East this year. No. I still don't see that. I'm still seeing Boston, I still see Miami being better than them. Milwaukee, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee. Who am I missing? What's the Philly? And then I still think Toronto will end up as a better record. And then Indiana. So I could see them being around 7 or 8. And even Atlanta. Maybe they could snag the 8 seed because I was wrong about Washington. And no, Brooklyn probably as well. Yeah, I can't see them being a top 5 team. All right, Matt's got a bunch here. Sixers will come out of the East. Okay, possible. Yes, not saying that's an overreaction. The Raptors will not turn things around and trade at the deadline. I disagree with that. I think they will turn things around. The Cavs will make the playoffs as a 7 seed. I disagree. I don't think they will. The Nuggets will be the 8 seed at best. I disagree. I think they'll comfortably make the playoffs. Sexton and Harris will be all-stars. I don't see the Sixers getting 3 all-stars because Simmons and Embiid will get it over Harris, and I don't see Harris being an all-star. Sexton, yeah, I can get behind, and Sabonis won't because he's underrated. I think Sabonis will be an all-star because the Pacers are going to be good, and they'll get 1 all-star, and it'll be Sabonis probably. Mike Conley, most improved, and Jazz get the 4 seed. Okay, Jazz getting the 4 seed is plausible. Honestly, Conley does have an interesting case to being most improved player because he was bad last year. Could have been the new system. Maybe he just, had to get the feel of Utah because he wasn't very good and he dealt with some injuries. But this year, I think he's averaging like 20 points per game and he's been efficient. He's still looking great as a defender. He's not turning the ball over. So most improved, honestly, might be a sneaky candidate. Shout out to Mitchell for that. Well, actually, he has turned the ball over the most in his career, but it's 6 games and I expect it to go down. Just wanted to clarify that. Suns are championship contenders. You're probably going to get disappointed in June. The Grizzlies' year is over, and we are tanking to getting a top 5 pick. Now, losing Ja's going to hurt, and thank God they have their first round pick this year, unlike last year where it went to the Celtics at 14. Honestly, that wouldn't be bad for Memphis. Maybe last year was just kind of a fluky year, or just kind of an outlier, and they're not really as good as we think they were. And honestly, this could be best for them in a loaded draft. Imagine this team with Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Moran and Brandon Clark, who hasn't looked great this year, but I think he's still a good player. Imagine them adding like a Jonathan Kuminga or a Jalen Johnson or a Jalen Green or BJ Boss or Jalen Suggs. Boom! That could be amazing, actually. I actually really hope the Grizzlies end up with a nice pick again because I would love that for their future. So, yeah, that is going to be the last one I'm going to react to. I reacted to a bunch. A lot of you guys said the same things, like Colin Sexton, about Julius Randle. A bunch of people said Trae Young being an MVP guy. I don't see him being an MVP, but that would be interesting if he got one over Luka. That would be something else, definitely. A lot of you guys said the Suns are for real, the Raptors are not, the Magic are for real, the Nuggets are not. But yeah, that is good for me. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.